What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about why Norway is Hollywood's favorite country. So, to be honest, as an American, I don't really know of any movies that are made in Norway, especially from Hollywood. And yet, this video says Norway is Hollywood's most favorite country. So, I'm really interested to learn about why this is exactly. So, let's take a look.
A lot of Norwegians, myself included, love when Norway gets mentioned in media from other countries.
Yeah.
This is not exclusive to Norwegians, of course. I'm sure that if you're from Adelaide, Australia, for instance, you just got a tiny little kick out of me mentioning it right now.
Is this true? It's funny, I can't really relate to this very much. As an American, the United States is always in the news. We're a pretty big country. We're always a part of politics and stuff, and I don't know, we're always doing something. So I'm sick and tired of hearing about the United States. Norway, you never hear about Norway. I mean, sometimes with electric vehicles and that kind of thing. Norway has a good reputation, but if you get a kick out of hearing Norway mentioned in the news, that's kind of funny to me.
For me, it's because I have an inherent pride in Norwegian culture.
Yeah.
My wish to share this with people from other countries is not the only reason for this channel, but it is a major one. There used to be a time when references to Norway in American and British media were incredibly uncommon, and we were mostly overlooked for our brothers and sisters in Sweden.
Huh. So he's saying there are not many Norwegian references in American culture, in movies. This is absolutely true. I'm not sure I can think of any Norwegian references, really. Nothing really comes to mind.
One Swedish-made penis enlarger pump.
Ah, yes. Austin Powers. The Swedish reference. Yeah, okay.
I remember some of the earliest times I ever saw Norway referenced outside of Norwegian media were in reruns of Monty Python's Flying Circus, most notably,
Remarkable bird, the Norwegian blue. Beautiful plumage, isn't it?
and
Really? Monty Python? I haven't seen much of this. This is a British show. Maybe in the UK they have more Norwegian references than in America. It could be totally possible.
And a Norwegian Jarlsberger.
I later loved that Slarty Bartfast won an award for designing Norway's fjords, and this Norwegian detective trio from Pushing Daisies. Other than that, references to my country.
Huh. Okay. So every so often you do get some Norwegian references. Here's the truth. I think a lot of Americans would not be able to identify the Norwegian flag. That's how bad it is, really. Now, it's not just Norway. Now, to be fair, Americans couldn't recognize the Swedish flag or the Danish flag or, I don't know, so many countries, actually.
Country were pretty few and far apart. But then in 2013, Disney released an entire animated movie set in a fictional kingdom very closely inspired by Norway. The name of that kingdom, Arendelle, is taken from the Norwegian town of Arendal.
Really? Frozen is based on Norway. Huh! I did not know that. I never made that connection. Frozen, the world of Frozen, is actually influenced by Norway, and it has similar naming. I did not know that. Frozen is huge. One of the biggest Disney movies ever. One of the biggest movies ever, especially in America. So there are so many of us Americans getting exposed to a version of Norwegian culture, and we don't even realize it. I don't think Americans realize Frozen has any Norwegian influence, sadly.
While the scenery is based on Nærøyfjorden, and the city and the fashions seen in the movie are based on traditional Norwegian architecture.
Oh my god! No way! Yeah, the more that they show here, the more that they point this out, the more that it's true. Frozen has all this Norwegian culture. I never realized this.
And style. After Frozen, in combination with growing interest in Vikings and Norse mythology, I've seen Norway start getting mentioned far more often than it used to. And then in 2015, the Norwegian government also started offering 25% returns on production costs for productions produced partly or entirely in Norway.
Whoa! This is the Norwegian Film Institute? If you film in Norway, you get 25% of your costs back? Whoa! Whoa! Does this have to be... This is films produced in Norway to promote Norwegian culture. 25% return on costs. Wow! So Norway is actually going out of its way to put up these, these special benefits so that it encourages Norwegian films. That's awesome.
After seeing the positive effects Frozen's popularity had on the Norwegian tourism industry. That, combined with all the free publicity that can be generated in the Norwegian media by simply mentioning Norway, has resulted in Norway being almost overrepresented now.
Whoa. Wow, so yeah, there's a lot more movies than I realized. I need to pay attention more. There's a lot more, there's Hollywood movies that have Norway. Wow, look at this background from a Marvel movie. Yeah.
Since 2015, films in the James Bond, MCU, and Mission Impossible series have been at least partially set in Norway, as well as other one-off movies like Tenet and The Snowman.
What? James Bond? Marvel? Really, really huge movies. Some of the biggest Hollywood movies are in Norway. It's strange because even though this is true, I don't know if it does a good job of letting the audience know that. Like, I'm gonna notice now, especially since I kind of know a thing or two about Norway. I think most Americans wouldn't necessarily realize that these are set in Norway.
But the Norwegian connection often feels superficial in these movies.
Yeah.
Sure, the directors make great use of the Norwegian scenery, but I seldom get the feeling that these films are set in Norway because the filmmakers have any great interest or love for the country. But when you pay people to spend time with you, you can't really expect that interaction to be anything more than superficial.
Yeah, like, Norway is in the background, but the movie is still about something else. It's not like the movie is about Norway. But putting that aside, it's an awesome trend that Norway, the country, is being featured as the location in a lot of these movies. It makes a lot of sense because the Norwegian landscape, Norwegian nature, there's nothing like it. It's some of the most beautiful, extreme geography in the world. So it makes total sense to me that a lot of Hollywood films would be made in Norway. Take advantage of, beautiful, beautiful Norwegian fjords and water and mountains, and that makes a lot of sense to me.
But Jesus Christ, Marvel, you were in Norway. How hard can it be to get an actual Norwegian to read the only Norwegian line of dialogue in all of Black Widow? Sure, I'll give X-Files a pass for this. Because it was 1995.
I'm guessing that sounded absolutely ridiculous to Norwegians. Was that like the worst Norwegian ever? Yeah, I agree. This is superficial. Like, the movies are in Norway, but they don't put Norwegians in the film. Or emphasize Norwegian culture beyond just putting it in the background.
And they were filming in America, so come on. And if you're going to reference any location in a story set during one of the 2 world wars, maybe do a little bit of research before you have a character say something like,
Nazis were in Norway?
yes, it's 1943. Nazis have been occupying the entire country for 3 years now.
Yeah, that's a bit insensitive. That's a bit insensitive. But it also just goes to show you that is the genuine American knowledge. Most Americans don't know Nazis were in Norway at all.
Close. Hydra.
Yes, actually, Peggy, they were. But yeah, anyway, if you'd like to get a deeper look at some weird and cool aspects of Norwegian culture, have a look at my other videos on this channel. And
this was very, very good, by the way. And this is by Sindre Elf. I gotta give him a like. This is a great video, great channel. It's interesting, because by the end of this video, I was left with a strange feeling. You know, I don't know what to take away from this video. Norway is Hollywood's favorite country. Especially now, it's like very trendy in a way. Very trendy, very hip to feature Norway in your big Hollywood movie. But there's also a problem that even though Norway is in the movie, I'm afraid a lot of Americans don't realize that it's Norway. I'm sure it's awesome for Norwegians because you can recognize it. You can watch and recognize it instantly, but for a lot of Americans, even myself included, like to us it's just, oh, that's a mountain in the background. Oh, fjords. Okay, back to the movie. Like we don't even register the Norwegian culture. It's not emphasized enough or explained enough. So it's like a double-edged sword. This is awesome for Norway. It's awesome Norway is such a popular place to film in, but, and I'm sure it is increasing Norwegian popularity, and it is making Norway appear in the news more. But on the other hand, it's kind of shocking. Like, I didn't know Frozen was based on Norway. That's huge. I think more Americans need to be aware of all this, actually. But at the end of the day, it's a good thing, and it's an interesting discussion. I had no idea. I had no idea. So this is really interesting. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on Hollywood in Norway, how much exposure Norway gets. That'd be interesting to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and learning about Norwegian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.